Hello everybody and welcome back to the Realistic Formula Championship. Round 11 takes us to the streets of Singapore on Marina Bay Street Circuit. The 19 turns of slow speed corners designed to challenge the drivers. One of the longest races of the season as well. And well, it is raining as well. But anyway, let's just have a quick little look at this clip from last week. Little side-by-side DRS games between Rio Harris and Senor Ghosts. Rio Harris eventually getting ahead there, but then Ghosts did take the place by the end of the race. These are the tyre compounds, C5, C4 and C3. It's pretty soft tyres, not the softest in the range. Second kind of set of softest tyres, but obviously right now I think it is full wet conditions. So I will move across and we will see if stuff is working. I need to change a setting very, very quickly to allow the hotkeys to work. We'll hope that people have got telemetry on. We will be away. Okay. Be ready. Can't wait till Deep Moon does something in the chat. But anyway, right. Here we go. We're in. Let's check the weather. Storm conditions. I'll reload the leaderboard quickly to update the logos. There we go. Telemetry on apart from the Racing Bulls. Who is actually that Racing Bulls though? Racing Bulls. Steverex, right? Steverex hasn't got the settings on, and so I'm gonna wait to see what's happening with Fusion, because he's supposed to be. Yeah, there's been a Red Bull, but he is not at the moment because he can't join. So someone else might have to join, but I'm just gonna wait and see on that one. But anyway. Let's have a little look and see. I think Danny here is already on his way on the wet tyres. Well, oof! That looked like a hit to the barriers, but I think he got away with it. Now this is turn 10, where the Singapore Sling was, but kind of been tamed down. Now, drifting the car into turn 13. And look at that wheel spin. I don't know. I think this is just kind of a sighter lap for Danny, it seems, at the moment. And yeah, he's not really using too much ERS, but it's difficult to get a point to use ERS when it's wet. But anyway, we'll see the end of this lap. Then I'll check Discord and see what's happening with Fusion. There's Danny there, across the line to 150.1. Right, Deep Moon, are you going to test a red flag thing? Fusion has joined. Look, there we go. It worked, didn't it? You better take that away. There we go. Anyway, you should also be able to do screenshots. There's no space in Nisev now, I don't think. And Mills crosses the line to go quickest. 1.6 seconds up on Zvart. A Fusion just joined, so I think he should be taking a Red Bull. But yeah, look, he just joined. Dylan has gone into second place, 8/10 off. And now so many drivers finishing laps. I have to try and work out what's actually happening, because yeah, there's a lot That's Miguez. I think he's just starting a lap. I've got this track map up on my other screen, but it doesn't actually lay the track out. It's just like a load of dots everywhere. So I'm going to try and work out where drivers are. This is Coyd, who's just gone up into 7th place. And then, who's the next driver? Danny. Is he on a proper lap this time? Not a personal best in the middle sector. Crosses a line and he doesn't improve. And then this is Kure, who's on the intermediate tyres. He's going to cross the line, and maybe he's going to start another lap now. Ben is right there. He's in 12th. There should be drivers doing consecutive laps, you'd think. Or like kind of doing more than one lap in the run. But it looks like the conditions are moving towards the intermediate tyres. As the conditions change in Q1. Ghost's first lap time on the board. And he goes up into 4th place. Still on the wet tyres for him. And then I think Steverex there just puts a lap time on the board. It's up to 3rd. Track is improving. Dylan is just starting another lap. What about Rio Harris, the championship leader, rounding turn 18 and 19 across the line, and he goes into P2. In himself out of trouble. And now this is Miguez. Goes into 4th, and now this track map is so confusing. Ben crosses the line, that's the intermediate tyres, and that is now P1 on a different compound. And Kure here is on a lap properly now on those intermediate tyres with a yellow flag. I think that's something down in the first couple of corners, potentially turn 3 or 4. Around about there. Danny has gone quickest, and this now is Kure. Where can he put the Williams? It's 42 milliseconds off the Ferrari. And then this is Alex Mills, who's obviously hunting down Rio Harris in the championship. There we can see the current championship standings. And well, this lap is not going to count for him because he's invalidated. We look back to Ghosts, but he's just kind of on a build lap, I think. And then, whoa, this is Magnushal, and he's slid off. And he's got a puncture there. Dylan now across the line, and he goes quickest by 7/10. And then Bryn Evans on the wet tyres still goes quickest. I don't know, what's wrong with the lineups? I'm probably missing something. The Fusion doesn't have the settings on. That is the issue with him. He's right there. He's down as player. He needs to turn on the show player IDs or names. But I don't think it will update. No, he's not got the setting on. It updates in real time. Oh, Alex there then just glances the wall, but he's kept it going. He's still not got the telemetry on as from last week. He's crossed the line to go quickest by 9/10. The track clearly getting better. What tyres though? Surely intermediates have got to be the ones. There's Ghosts across to the line to get into 4th. This is Tarantino. in the Williams, just trying to control the car through the last couple of corners, and then he goes quickest, and that's the intermediate tyres for him. Confusion has left the session, so don't quite know what's happened there. This is Lol driving the Alpine after being taken, well, after having his Mercedes seat taken away a few rounds ago. Ben now in an improved lap. Ben to third place. Yeah, I don't quite know what's happened with Fusion because now he's left, but now his name shows, so. Right, this is a lap just being started by Krempty. What about Amiri to cross the line to go into 10th place? Well, I mean, we've not really seen cars in the other part of the track because there's just been so much going on in terms of laps crossing the line. I can't invite him because he's not actually added me anyway. Yeah, because now I'm on this different account. It's actually a bit better because I feel like there's a lot of like motion blur going on. I don't know if I need to change the settings or something, but I guess we'll keep it on for now. As there is Bryn Evans. It's purple in the first two sectors, but that looked a little bit on edge down there at turn 14. Now down to 16. Again, it's kind of showing that he's locking up, but I don't. Obviously, that's just kind of the game showing that. And he's actually bailing out. So obviously, he wants to get into the pits to get the intermediate tyres on before it's too late. Because obviously, this is not a short lap in Singapore. And Coyd now goes into second place. That shows the track improvement that is currently going on. Ben peeling into the pits. It's all change as drivers now try to get themselves onto the right tyres at the right time. This is Ruben Parker, who needs to get himself out of trouble because he's currently running in 19th for Red Bull, and he is on a lap here, but we need to see how many laps. You need to time it right so you can get the right track conditions when it's going to be best at the end of the session. Because if you just finish a lap just as the checker flag comes out and you can't start another one, then you might be in trouble if the track ramps up by the amount that it looks like it's ramping up, as Steverex sets the quickest time by 1.6 seconds. That's showing what the track is doing. And Parker now trying to keep it steady, crossing the line, and he goes quickest by 1.5 seconds now. And then Harris pops into second place, 0.7 off. And then I think just see the sec times from Kure here. Kure looking to get a lap time good enough to get out of the bottom 5. He doesn't need that much of an improvement, but obviously the times are going to tumble now as the track rubbers in, the dry line begins to form, and Kure goes into second place ahead of Rio Harris. So that could be critical, just to show where drivers are kind of in comparison to one another, because that's a bit concerning for Harris. It's trying to actually find who I can kind of watch and who is setting sector times. Danny Zvart has found himself down there in 16th place, so we'll see what he can do. I don't know what Miguel is doing on the wet tyres, because that is also coming up on my other screen, because you'd think sometimes it shows the tyre they did their best lap on, but not quite on this occasion. A bit of traffic there, I think, for Danny, and he backs out. just as I'm checking the tyre compound for the traffic. And yeah, backs out of it. Dylan now on his way into turn 10. Hooks it over the curb, slightly drifts, and now needs to apply the power over the Anson Bridge, and then smoothly brake the turn 13, slowest corner of the racetrack, get the power down. He's in first gear there, which is probably not ideal, but now he will brake for 14. Fastest sectors going in left, right and centre, and Dylan then overtakes Kure and now has his run towards turn 16. This is going to be crucial because unless he goes for another lap straight away now, this will be his last lap of qualifying. So it needs to count, it needs to be good, it needs to be valid for Dylan. Dylan now up to the line for Mercedes, 7/10 ahead of Ruben Parker. Now, what are we seeing from drivers behind? Who is actually on a lap? Krempty should be on a lap. He is on a lap. 2 green sectors, lifts himself 2 places up and into 7th. Is that going to be good enough? As now, Zvart now, he's going to start his last run. He did make it in time. Mills to cross the line. Mills goes quickest by 1.1 seconds. This is Stevrex who's invalid. Bryn Evans. Bryn Evans needs to keep it clean in the last few corners. Currently down in 13th place. The McLaren man, 4th place in the championship. Across the line, and it is P2 behind only his teammate at the moment. Magnuschal now up to the line. Magnuschal, it's 8th place for him. What about Rio Harris? Harris to the line. It's 7th place for Rio Harris, only improved by a 10th on his lap, I think. Did he invalidate? I might have missed that. And Tarantino goes into 4th. Let's see what is happening as Ben is rounding the last corner now. Ben across the line. It's 2nd place for Ben. And Ruben Parker across the line goes into 2nd. And then we have Coyd. Coyd moves himself into 9th. Safe for the moment. Dylan goes into 5th. Major improvements here. What about Tanz? Can Tanz finally get a lap time on the board and lift himself out of Q1? Yes, he can. Miguel looks to be out of qualifying. What is happening to Danny Zvart? Is he setting sector times? I think he is. A few seconds up on his lap, as now here he comes up to the line. The race winner from last week goes into 7th place and gets himself safe. It's Alex Mills pits. And I think Fusion is still trying to get on his way and set a lap. He hasn't set a lap yet in this session. And Rio Harris is right on the bubble. He is in 15th place. And Fusion can knock the championship leader out in Q1 here. Bryn Evans has gone fastest, but Fusion to cross the line. And Rio Harris is eliminated in the first part of qualifying. The championship leader has fallen before we've even really started here in Singapore. And Rio Harris now finding himself with a lot of work to do in the championship. Yeah, as Eagle is saying, he did invalidate. He improved by a 10th, but that 10th would have just put him ahead of Kure. But that is still not really the sort of pace you'd expect from the Ferrari man. Well, welcome back to qualifying here in Singapore for the Singapore Grand Prix. And well, Q1, certainly an eventful session there. Rio Harris being eliminated in the session, championship leader, opening the door for Alex Mills to gain on him. I'm just going to reduce that motion blur because it was kind of a bit extreme. And well, the weather, it is drying out. And well, intermediate tyres are still on for the time being, but for how much longer will intermediates be the tyre of choice? Is the track? I mean, the track looks pretty dry. Well, yeah, I'm not. We'll have to see. I think Ben here, yeah, DRS now enabled, so it looks like we'll be on to dry tyres. All these drivers who've just come out will probably be heading back for the pits. And it will be, yeah, changing on to the slicks. So this is Kure, who just got through into Q2, ahead of Rio Harris. And is he going to go for a lap, or is he going for the pits? He is indeed going for a lap here, so we'll see how the conditions are. And he's now going to go down towards turn number 1. And well, yeah, the track doesn't look wet, does it? And unsurprisingly, most drivers are going back for the pits, but we'll get a good sight of the track, I guess. From Kure. I did just hear a hit of the wall there. Now it's flashed up that Andre Tarantino has picked up damage somehow, but he's actually in the pit. So I don't know, did he hit the wall going into the pits as Kure just rushes the wall himself? Gets away with it though. And well, Fusion is still out there doing a lap. But now we do have soft tyres going under some of them as well. Kure into turn 13, getting the power down as he runs down towards 14. And this complex that was brought in 2023 due to some redevelopments going on, and well, should open up more overtaking potential. But yeah, there we go, and unsurprisingly that lap has been backed out. Meanwhile, Evans seems to be going quickly, even though I think he might just be coming into pit as well, maybe. Because Fusion setting the quickest time, 35.3. And then Evans will set an intermediate time indeed. And rounds the last corner. And he goes into second place, just 23 thousandths of a second from Fusion. What about Mills on a lap here? Can he get to P1? And he does get to P1. There aren't 3 McLarens anymore. There's Parker also on the intermediate. There are some soft tyre runners out there. I think Tooned Hands has hit the wall somewhere on his outlap, so I'll just quickly investigate. And is he? Yeah, he is missing the left-hand side end plate there. And he's not even set a lap yet, so that is not ideal, and he'll probably go for the pits. No, he's going to try and stick this out and get a run in, even though he's on, yeah, even though he has got that damage. And there we can see the soft tyres certainly working. And well, we'll see what the lap time comes to, and well, you can kind of try and work out how much the damage is costing him. There is understeer, you can see, and he brushes the wall again. Tarantino just up ahead, setting a fastest first sector with a 27.0, Tans with a 27.4, 4/10 off. Considering the damage and the car difference, it's not too bad, but obviously you're going to need every bit of lap time you can, and he has it actually invalidated there. So we will go forward and see what Tarantino is up to. And he has set 2 purple sectors now, as you'd expect, considering he's on those tyres. Well, Evans' fastest 3rd sector will be getting stripped away pretty soon by Tarantino, as he is now going to swing it in to the final 2 corners. And there we go. Lap time on the board, and it's 4.6 seconds quicker than those, well, than the next nearest driver, but obviously intermediate runners. Soft tyres showing for a few of those, but that's because they've selected those tyres in the pits, and it just hasn't updated for whatever reason. Well, it shouldn't update until they actually set a lap time, but for some reason it has. As Danny there spins around on the exit of turn 14. That was a strange one. Let's have another little look at that, because we may as well have to wait, because it was quite late that we saw, but you know, on his outlap, just seemingly spun around. Anyway, now he's actually going to start a lap. Let's see what the Ferrari's got, and whether he can keep it clean. Down towards the first corner. And now, first few corners have been dealt with. Now it's this kind of medium speed right-hander turn 5, where you can run it right out to the wall, and now try and take the line of least resistance down into turn 7 here. Over the curb on the left-hand side, slightly bottoms out on the curb on the exit. Now into 9, down towards turn 10. He has got a car ahead, which is Dylan, I think, in the Mercedes. Dylan there kind of waiting off track to try and let him by. Bouncing over the curbs and almost losing it there through turn 12, but he manages to hold on, and that was well done to him. And down now to 14. And now smoothly on the power. DRS open down this section, of course, now. And how late can he brake? How much confidence has he got in the conditions? Ghost setting a 28.5. What sort of pace has Danny got? No purple sectors so far. And he is 7/10 off what Ghosts did. But were his tyres in the best shape after that spin he had? Not entirely sure. And Coyd. Now we can see where the Alpine can put himself. Slightly runs wide there. And goes into 4th place. And then this is Tarantino now, who is on a better lap. Mills pumping in the fastest first sector with a 26.3. Tarantino's done a 26.7. And he is into 4th place, a second off what Ghosts did. So Ghosts doing a good opening lap on the soft tyres. Mills just going by Zwart there. As now the McLaren looking to gain in the championship. And he's got a great opportunity to do that, with Harris starting that far back, but Harris will be giving it everything to get back through. It's not the easiest thing to do in Singapore, but he can certainly, you know, you'd think with the car and pace difference, the Ferrari should be able to get into the points, and also safety cars are a factor here. Mills goes quickest. And Evans, he's actually invalidated, so he won't have a lap on the board yet. His lap was actually on the intermediates, even though it says soft tyre there. Let's see, Fusion just gonna start a lap. Any sector times being displayed? Don't think so, so let's watch Fusion on his way on the soft compound of tyres. 3 minutes and 37 seconds to go in Q2. And the Red Bull jumping in as a reserve, looking to lay down the gauntlet. He was certainly quick in Q1, just barely outside the quickest time. And well, he'll be looking to give Mills a hard time once more. And give him a challenge. Mills, obviously, yeah, he should probably be, he's probably the favourite based on the running we've seen so far, but we don't know what is yet to come. And then the conditions seem to be sticking to dry conditions in Q2 and Q3. I'm not quite sure what the race is, but anyway, Fusion into turn 13. And there we go. Oh, slight bit of lag there or something. I don't know, slight jolt, but he's still on his way. I think he's backed off. Oh, he's left. Yep, he has left the session. Something weird did happen there. I thought that was a bit confusing. Anyway, I think Bryn Evans, we've been presented with, and I think he is just trying to start a lap. Evans now down into turn 5. And let's see what he can put up against his teammate. He's a 10th down exactly. Oh, rear locking there, I think. Slight hit of the barrier, but he's still on his way. That seemed quite peculiar from the McLaren. But anyway, he's going to have to keep in this, is he? Is he going to back off? I think he is backed off. And he will go again, I think. It did look like he backed off. But he's then open DRS. So we'll still keep checking. He's 5/10 off now. And well, this hasn't got the fuel. This is his last bit of fuel, so Bryn Evans could be in trouble here once again. He was knocked out in Baku. And now, that seemed a bit peculiar over the Anderson Bridge section, but he is going to have to stick with this lap. And where will it put him? Puts him into 4th for the time being. But where will that end up by the end of the session? Parker goes into 6th, exactly a second off of the time set by Mills. And then we have a few drivers here just going on to start their laps. We'll try and pick up Ghosts here, I think. He's on an out lap. What about Amiri on an out lap? Ben now, I think. Ben has already finished. What about Danny? Danny should be on his way. Indeed he is. So, getting towards the end of Q2, and well, drivers needing to get laps on the board due to the way the session's panned out. And Danny looking to secure his place in the top 10 shootout, trying to be in it when it counts in the battle for pole position. He's 3/10 off Mills so far, but that's looking decent enough to get into Q3. That is for sure. Stream of cars currently going down towards turn 14 now, really. But Danny, meanwhile, carries on. with his attempt to get into Q3, and that attempt seems to be successful. He's into third place. What about Toon Tans, rounding the last few corners? Hasn't got a lap on the board yet. Lol retired from the session, so I don't quite know what happened to him. And Tans now across the line. It's only 12th. Tans is out of qualifying. Coyd wanting to make himself a bit more secure goes into 9th. Tarantino going to cross the line. Kure has crossed the line to go into 7th. Andre Tarantino has gone into 9th. That has pushed Coyd down into 10th. Amiri is in 11th, but Amiri is still on a lap, and Amiri looking to knock Jarvis Coyd out of qualifying. And what is the lap looking like? He needs to find about 8 tenths on his previous best. Has the Haas got the pace? Around in turn 19 now, crossing the line, and misses out by about 4 tenths of a second. So it's Amiri, Toontans, Fusion, Miguez, and Lol who are eliminated. I think Miguez might have had an issue, but I can't. I'll have a look and see if I can invite, because last time I did that, everyone lagged, and then, yeah, it didn't end well. Anyway, there we go. That is the second part of qualifying. If you're watching, Roberto, you can add me on Steam, and then you can join whenever, like just by going to my profile for future reference as well. It seems to work a lot easier when that happens. Anyway, oops, I've closed down my preview windows. There we go. Anyway, Q3 time. Well then, top 10 shootout. And everybody seems to be out of the pits pretty quickly. On their way. All 10 drivers out there for the final part of qualifying, which is always quite exciting in Singapore. Should see drivers pushing right to the limits of their machinery. And well, that is always what we want to see. Maybe some drivers pushing over the limit, but that is what this is about. And well, that's just a refresher of the championship standings going into this round. And well, Mills 32 points behind Harris. And then Danny and Ren Evans behind, and then Dylan a little bit further back as well. Anyway, time for the first run of the session, and I've clicked on it again and my game's disappeared again. Oh, lovely. Right, I think that's fine. And Mills looking to keep up the pace, which he's shown so far. And now we can see the second times of everyone. Coyd 26.7, Ben 26.3, Tarantino 26.5, Mills 26.3, slightly quicker than Ben. And then down towards turn 10. Over the curb on the left-hand side, then bring it back across to get into the right. And seems to be lagging a little bit from my end. But he's out of that complex. And down towards the 14th corner on the racetrack. Once again, that just says MMSS. Just going to ignore that. He's purple in both sectors. 37.0, although that's very close to Bryn Evans and Ben's times. They are pretty close on lap times so far. Mills and Ben seem to be very close. Lap time Mills slightly quicker, as you can see by the sector colours. And there he does go quickest by half a tenth. And keeps up the pace that he's shown so far. And now what can the race winner from last week do? Whoa, as he spins across the line. He doesn't even cross the line yet. He hits the wall. And well, that is Danny Zwart facing the wrong way at the end of his first Q3 run. So that was not what he was thinking. He was not what he thought he wanted to do. But anyway, that's picked up damage, but he should just get that fixed before the final run anyway. Let's just quickly go back and see what happened. Danny just, I think he goes slightly wide onto the curb and just seems to spin around. But he's got another run to repair the damage done there. But Mills looking on form as it stands. Evans as well, getting very close to Mills, closest he's been so far. And well, final sector, gaining a tenth, gaining the time back that he lost in the first sector, really. And then sector 2, the slight difference there. Well, it's going to make it interesting. McLaren versus Mercedes at the front of the field. Okure without a lap time, Tarantino as well, not having a good opening lap. But if we have a little comparison, you can see, I mean, Coyd was up on Danny anyway through the first 2 sectors, but then you can see the time lost there. It wasn't the best lap from Danny, but I think he might have had used tyres on that run. Actually, we can probably check 21%. I mean, that would have been exaggerated slightly by the by the spin that he had, as then he spins into the pit entry as well. I think all the replays we've had today have been of Danny, but let's just have a little replay as he goes onto the curb there on the outside, and obviously with the damage, yeah, I'm not quite sure what he was planning to do there, but anyway, he's going to repair his wing, he's going to get some new tyres on, and he's going to give it another go. And well, already the Mercedes of Ben is looking to get out there. Is this trying to get 3 runs in, or is this just trying to get a second run in, like his final run in early? I'm not quite sure, because 1 minute 28 lap, you know, I'm not quite sure, but anyway, let's see what he can do. Yeah, so not quite sure what that tyre compound that it's showing is. We've invented a new compound, but Anyway, he's quicker than Dylan by just over a tenth and a half. And well, he's out there by himself with just over 4 minutes to go in this session. Kure seems to be going out there as well. Just going out, he hasn't got a lap time yet on the board. The Williams doing well to get into Q3 alongside his teammate for this race. Tarantino driving for Williams for quite a few races now. Kure getting involved, but now we will see Ben start this lap, and it could be his last lap in qualifying. I'm not quite sure if he's fueled up for more than a lap or what, because he's hidden his telemetry. I mean, you can see on his wheel, I think he's got 4 laps of fuel in there from what I can just make out by squinting at my monitor. 3.9. I think that says, I don't know if you can see on the stream because it's probably slightly more pixelated than what I can see, but anyway, Ben gunning for it and just outside of Mills's time by not a knot. Into turn 8. And now try and coax it into turn 9. Don't hit the barrier. And this is the George Russell corner, as Rio Harris would say. And into turn 11. And over the Anderson Bridge into 13. And it's looked pretty clean so far for the Mercedes. And what is it going to be compared to Mills? He has lost time compared to his previous best, so it's not ideal, and potentially, he's not going to back off, so he's going to do this lap, have a cool lap, and then go for one final run, I think. He doesn't quite hit the curbs there in 16-17, and then does decide to just back off and cool down because he's not improving. Kure invalidating his run, so he won't be setting a lap on this lap. Has he got the fuel? 2.1, I think. So I think he should just be able to get round and do another lap. So it's not too bad for the Williams. Although, I mean, I'm sure he would have liked to get a lap on the board when he was planning to. And then we have Ruben Parker down here with the McLarens. Sandwiched as well is Senor Ghosts, who's in there in 6th place. Tarantino making his way towards the last couple of corners. We have a yellow, and that is potentially one of the McLarens. Mills maybe down there. But anyway, let's watch the lead Mercedes on track start his final run, give a bit of variety and see what Dylan's got in Q3. And now barreling down towards turn 1, and then back on the power, and then try and get a decent exit out of here, and then softly turn into turn 5, right out to the wall. You've seen closer than that before, but you don't want to hit the wall, so I guess that's what Dylan's thinking. But he's not found a good first sector, as Dylan, and Mills has gone even quicker behind. And Mills looking to reaffirm his position on pole position. And can anyone get close to him? We'll see the sector times coming from Evans. He's a 10th down on Mills. Ben as well will be just getting to the first sector pretty soon, as well as Danny Zwart as well. Dylan on his way towards 14, and he has picked up a bit of time in his previous best, but it's still not quite there with Mills. And Mills has gone purple in the second sector as well. But we'll keep watching Dylan until he finishes lap at least. And we'll see, can he pull out a magic final sector? Tarantino's gone up to 7th place. Kure then replaces him, goes into 6th, knocks Tarantino down to 8th. Dylan just misses out by about 0.08 of a second. Then Mills improves his time, improves his lead on pole position. What about Ruben Parker? Ruben Parker across the line. It's on the front row at the moment. Ghosts has crossed the line in 6th. Where can Bryn Evans go? Bryn Evans marginally improves, I think. It's not enough. Ben is not finding time. Ben has 2 not personal best sectors, and he doesn't improve his lap time. What about Danny Zwart in the Ferrari? Goes into 6th. So it is going to be Alex Mills taking pole position here in Singapore. And he has done it. Once again, like he did in Monza, he has the quickest time in qualifying. And, well, in the end, Bryn just couldn't quite get the time. I think Bryn might have invalidated his final lap. Indeed, he did, 27.714, which would have been quicker than the time set by Mills, but, well, it doesn't matter if it's not valid at the end of the day. And we don't know how much time he gained by potentially going off track. But anyway, yeah, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. He's still 3rd on the grid. Still a decent position to be in. That is for sure. We'll now get to the race. It seems to be dry conditions, at least to start. Well, what are the strategies going to look like? Should be a one-stop, I think. And, well, I mean, safety cars always come into play, though, in Singapore, so... well, normally come into play, at least. I can't check the weather until we actually get in. It's just going to say clear, 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 because there's no telemetry. It will update when we actually, when the formation lap starts. Oh, just waiting to see what... well, waiting for people to select their strategies, I guess. Someone to ready up. Then we'll get going. So I'm not quite sure what's happening, because it's everyone just on that lulling period. Right, there we go. Formation lap. Going to get underway. Let's... don't know if the weather will actually load until we're actually going to start the race, I can't lie. I think it's locked so it doesn't come on the formation lap. Probably to make sure Eagle doesn't press it at the wrong time or something. Or maybe... not quite sure. Anyway, starting tyres. There we go. 2 drivers on the hards. That's Coyd and Miguez. Is he back in? No. Does he need an invite? If he's watching the stream and he still wants to get in, then go to the Steam, because I saw you're on Steam, go to the Steam link that's in D1 announcement. Anyway, well, Mills leading the formation lap away. Top 8 all on the medium compound. What can Harris do? Is he down there in 16th? Potential of getting caught up. In trouble on the first couple of laps, especially on that run down to turn 7. It's going to be interesting. Everyone hits that braking point. So, Parker getting on the front row. Can he challenge the McLaren? Can Evans try and make it McLaren 1-2? Can the Mercedes maybe profit from something happening? First couple of corners. Whoa, Ben here is just seemingly cutting through everything and now has gone ahead of all the drivers that meant to be ahead of him. And well, he's driving straight to the grid and rocket speed. Good. See if anyone gets set back. It'll look okay. Maybe Ghosts potentially got set back. Maybe it was actually... No, that's Miri that got set back, I think. Right, here we go. It's time for the Singapore Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go. Good start from Alex Mills, who's maintaining his lead. Then comes Parker. There is Danny Zwart on the inside of the Mercedes of Ben, going through the first couple of corners. Danny looking to make quick moves, and he's trying to go around the outside into turn 5. Ben will not give this up easily, and Danny still there, but Ben has pulled back ahead. But Alex Mills leads from Ruben Parker. Then comes Bryn Evans. Danny potentially shaping up for a move down into turn 7. Everyone seems to be pretty unscathed, but then in the background there seems to be chaos involving the Haas of Krempty. Rio Harris has dropped back already to 18th place and is only followed through by the AI cars. The Williams has had an accident. The Williams of Magnushal, I want to say, getting caught up. No, Magnushal's not even in the Williams. It's Kure in the Williams has been caught up. No safety car deployed on the opening lap because he's got back going. He's just in the barrier there. But Mills maintaining that lead of the race. Harris playing it cautiously, now getting past Krempty in turn 14. The two AI cars still follow him. And yeah, he's running in 16th place. Miguel going round the outside of Jarvis Coyd. And I think he has got that place. And we have completed the opening lap. And Mills leads by nearly a second already. But Parker will will be trying his best not to let that go. And well then, we can get some gaps up now. On the second lap, we can check the weather. Light rain in 30 minutes. Light rain in 30 minutes. Here we go. This is going to bring chaos. But anyway, Steverex getting past Coyd. What can Harris do? He's got past Tans. It might still be a battle. Steverex is ahead. And is now running in 13th place. Is Harris diving to the inside? Harris is. Coyd has to back out and then loses a place to Tans because of that. He's still going to try and keep his nose in, but the Sauber does get by. And then the Haas in the background just maybe going to the inside, but nothing doing. And Mills already pulling away, and Parker looking to try and get back into DRS, but it looks like Evans is the one that's actually challenging now with DRS. Can Evans make it a McLaren 1-2? He's using his ERS down into turn 16. He's going to go to the inside, and Parker will try and match him on the brakes, but Evans is through into second place. on the second lap of the race, and McLaren now running 1-2 in the Singapore Grand Prix. What can Ben do? He's potentially closing in. Nothing doing for the time being. And now on the run down towards turn 7 again pretty soon. That is how the championship is looking. Mills closing in, but there's still a lot of the race to go. And Harris has got ahead of Magnus Schall, and as well Stevra is getting by on the Kick-Sauber. But no changing of position in the championship at the moment. Ghosts is close to Dylan. Dylan being harried here a bit by the Aston Martin. And Evans not able to keep up with the pace of Mills at this point, or maybe he's just kind of, I don't know, is he trying to create a gap for Alex, or is he just struggling in the race? Let's try and see. I mean, Alex is certainly driving well out front. And Parker with DRS now will be able to keep up. And then Ben seems to be trying his best to get a run, but it's not easy at Singapore to make an overtake, especially when you're in a DRS train. We might see some swapping over here between the two Kick-Saubers. Tans is going to go around the outside. Magnus Schall kind of moves across, but then does leave a gap that Tans takes. Slightly unsteady here, and Magnus Schall may be popping up on the inside, but in the end, Tans has got the place. Kure there with damage, and still just going on in the race, not pitting yet. And yeah, Parker, Ben maybe looking to get the run, but he's not quite close enough. There still might be room for a send, but even that's risky. Tarantino getting ahead of Amiri. Amiri with the cutback takes the place back again and is in 8th place. That is the change of position. Krempty, that Magnus Schall, is he disconnecting, or is he having connection difficulties? Because that's the second time I've seen him ghost, and there he spins in the background. Quite literally, as we're watching, we can see him spin. And yeah, let's just have a quick little look. He's ghosted, but then does he like kind of unghost, or does he run into the wall? It seems strange there. Just saw him slide off, but yeah. Anyway, green flag again as Magnus Schall's dropped back, but Miguel getting close to Lol. And Danny now getting ahead of Parker. What has happened to Ruben Parker? Has he had difficulties? Because now he's dropped down a couple of places there. But potentially the last corner. Not quite sure what happened. I mean, we could actually play it back and try and see. Magnus Schall slowing. But Danny here maybe going for a move. But nothing quite doing on this occasion. Let's have a little look and see what actually happened to Parker. I don't quite know. Magnus Schall's now left. He's retired in the pits, and there's damage there for Danny. Danny has picked up damage and has hit the barrier. He's lost both end plates. Danny's Vart in the wall. And now this train has completely dropped away from Bryn Evans. And Parker's going to have to try and make a move back. What has happened to Tarantino, who's dropping down the order? We'll try and stay with this battle, though, because there's wheel banging between Dylan and Parker. Dylan takes the place. Dylan then, Parker runs into the barrier. And Parker now sending it up the inside into turn 16. Slight wheel bang again between the pair of them. Dylan seems to have got ahead. Ghost now will be looking to make a move. It's chaos here on lap 6, as now I think the Haas of Krempty has potentially had a difficulty. He's picked up some kind of damage to his diffuser diffuser, I think, from what I can see on my other screen. But Ghost's trying to make the move on Parker. And now he has gone around the outside. Krempty has retired. We have a safety car. We have a safety car here. Let's quickly try and see. No, we didn't see what happened. It's a virtual safety car. It's not a full safety car. But anyway, Tarantino's taking the opportunity to pit because he fell down the order on that lap. I don't know what happened to him though, because we were seeing the battle with Parker and then all of a sudden Tarantino was falling down. But then he just opted to pit. He's on the soft tyres now. Kure still with damage. Danny as well with the front wing damage. Krempty did pick up diffuser damage from what I can see. And then, yeah, he crashed at about turn 16. Fusion disconnecting and then not joining back, I think. And as well, Roberto Miguez there. The same thing. Virtual safety car has been called in. And we'll get back to racing speed. Anyone exceed the delta? I don't think so. And now there's always the opportunity on the virtual safety car restart of moves. Because you can get caught out. Or you can profit. But anyway, no one quite got caught sleeping, I don't think. That seemed like a hit into the wall again from Danny. I mean, he's already got damage, I guess. He can just throw his car at the wall and nothing really happens. But yeah, I mean, that's probably the understeer from the damage that caused that little tap. And Ben now trying to see if he can catch back up, try and drop the cars as well behind. Maybe Mercedes trying to work as a team. They're kind of surrounding Danny here with the two works cars and then also the Aston Martin of Ghosts. Parker a little bit further back, but still in this train in the Red Bull. And now Danny going down the inside into turn 7. Danny takes the place. Ben goes off track. Danny then around the outside of turn 8 gets potentially squeezed into the barrier there. He's going to try and dive down the inside into turn 9. And there's contact between Danny and Ben. And that is going to allow Dylan to go through. There's still potentially more contact as Danny gets ahead of Ben eventually. But that seemed... there's all sorts of wheel banging going on. And Parker just keeping a watching brief on this one. Almost runs into the back of Ghosts. There, got within 400ths of a second. Ben will potentially be looking for revenge on the next lap. Or maybe even at the end of this lap still. But Danny getting the elbows out. Parker in the background getting out of shape. I think he's okay. That seemed a bit like it was all over the road. But yeah, let's just have a quick little look back. This was down into turn 7 where they had that wheel banging. And again then into turn 8 as well. And then it carried on further. But now down the main straight, we see Ben trying to get back at Danny. And then they both go off. They lock on. Ben and Danny's Vart, and also Ghosts getting involved, I think, slightly in that. But, yeah. I don't even know what to say about that, really. Ghosts is now going to try and get through on Danny. And he's going to go to the outside into turn 7. And Danny will keep his nose there again. Ghost goes off, comes back on. Danny's still trying to appear around the outside. We can see Dylan there just making a break. Ben still involved. Ghosts goes in a bit deep, maybe. Into turn 9. And Ben now still keeping a watching brief. Slightly taps the back there of Danny, I think. Maybe a bit of netcode playing into that as well, but it's not done yet. And Ben trying to set up the run. Can Senor Ghosts get away? Mills and Evans, the gap between them is slightly closing as well. And then we see Amiri and Miguel swap over. I wonder if they're kind of working together, because I know they're friends. But anyway, we'll see what happens, because Danny now is quite close to Senor Ghost, but he gets all out of shape. And somehow keeps it going, but now Ben So they're not going to have the opportunity of contact this time because they're ghosted. They are ghosted, and that's probably a good idea at least, because last time they were wheel to wheel into here, they took each other off, and once again, the same thing happens. They both go out wide, they're both not letting go. Ben hits the barriers, and a stream of cars take the place, and Rio Harris as well, getting by after all of that. So, well, and now Harris making a move on Parker, and Harris is now up into 6th place, and Danny is not done with his battling just yet. Miguel now trying to set the cut back, and Miguel now is just backing out, I think, for the time being. Let's just have a quick little look back at the battle down into turn 1 where they took each other off, and then you can see Parker and Harris taking the place. But yeah, don't know what they're doing. And Ben now running down in 10th. And Miguel getting out of shape, trying to get the power down, and that's going to allow Amiri, might even allow Ben to try and get back a place, not quite, but Miguel losing the car. Anyway, we've only had 9 laps here. Well, yeah, we've only had 9 laps. We're just about to start lap 10. And well, if we didn't think it's chaotic enough, there's going to be rain later on in the race. Miguel, what has happened? Something's happened again with Miguel, and now he has dropped another few places, but rain in 10 minutes time. And Steverek slowing down there. I don't know if he had an illegal overtake or what. Ben now getting involved with LOL, and it's again contact at turn 1, and again he locks on with a driver, this time Long having a battle with him, and Ben still appearing up the inside, and Ben takes the place into turn 5. And well, yeah, what is going on? Steverex and Miguel now. Yeah, let's just, I mean, I think Harris is going to have a little go, but let's see this again. That was Lol and Ben. And then again, a little turn 3 thing going on. And, well, Harris now running in 5th place in the Grand Prix. And well, he is repairing the damage that might have been done in the championship. There we go. Alex still gaining 15 points, but not so bad. Danny, though, could be costly in his championship. Well, just his championship position in general, not even like that he's trying to fight to win the championship, but yeah. It would just be costly because there might be penalties involved as well. I mean, there's so many incidents, it's hard to keep track. And Harris is just having a little watch on. The 2 McLarens are just completely escaping away because of all this. And they certainly don't want the safety car to be deployed because that would be pretty costly. Well, I mean, they still have the lead, but obviously that gap would be wiped out. And Harris, potentially close enough to go around the outside. Ghosts, and Harris do battle like they did in Baku. And Harris on the inside, and Harris does take the place. Can Ghosts fight it back? I don't think he can. And that is the place then for Rio Harris. Who started the race down in 16th and now has moved his way up the field. And there you can see he's just allowed the space and then got it down into turn 9. And August is still there, but Harris now looking to push on to get to the podium. And well, he'd certainly have taken this when he qualified down in 16th. Still a long way to go. Tyres now getting quite worn for quite a few drivers. Just check Harris is 56% on the rear right. And well, it looks like drivers might have to pit before the rain falls, or rain about 5 to 10 minutes away, because it normally comes slightly before that rain prediction. It will start to fall, but then it will dry out later on. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be difficult conditions. Miri and Miguel swap places. Deverex there in the background. Pit stops happening with Parker, and also Danny Zwart and Ben. And well, Tarantino just going through. He pitted earlier on in the race after getting damage. Been running on his tyres for about 6 laps. Let's actually just have a quick little check. There we go, yep, 6 laps on the tyres. And Harris is now shaping up for a move on Danny. Now can he get the run down towards turn number 16? Don't think he's quite close enough. He doesn't want to make a risky move. He's in a decent position now. He doesn't want to throw it away, and well, he is just being sensible. And he'll probably get a run down towards turn 7, you think, unless Dylan makes a mistake. Going out of the last corner. No, not really. Dylan as well. Not really ERS on his car. That was the wrong graphic. That was the race start. Oh, something happened with an Alpine. I wonder. Something, or maybe it's the Aston Martin of Miguel. No, there was definitely a yellow flag out there, but I don't quite know what it was. Maybe someone having an incident at the pit entry. Miguel has got damage. I wonder if it was that. Harris around the outside. Dylan gets tagged. They're appearing on the inside and has made contact with Rio Harris. But, I mean, Rio was kind of ahead going into there, and then Dylan kind of appeared. But we'll have to see what they make of that, if it even gets reported. Let's have another little look. Once again, this was Harris. Then on the brakes, you can see Dylan in the mirror there. And then he gets tagged. Or Dylan tags Rio. And there we go, rain. Look at the rain falling. Perfect shot to see that the rain is falling. Just as we've had drivers pit onto the hard compound, then it rains. So I don't know if that's the best choice I've ever seen, but anyway, Rio's tyre should make it. What about Evans? He's got telemetry on. 69%. It's going to be pretty close. But well, the rain seems to be falling, and it's not too light. It's slippy a bit there for Evans. And there's certainly a decent amount of rain falling, so we'll have to watch the lap time, see the sectors. As there goes Lol on Tarantino. You'll see them kind of almost crawling around a little bit already. I mean, maybe that's just Tarantino's older tyres as well, but Amiri and Ben as well. Not quite sure. Yeah, Ben there just, I think, getting ahead. He's got DRS as well. Here we go. Is this going to be intermediate tyres going on already? Indeed it is. Intermediates for Coyd. Tams as well coming in. Coyd just gets released ahead. And there is Ruben Parker onto the intermediate tyres. DRS has now been disabled. Ben gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So this is going to be crucial now. Miguel gets a 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. This is just not the time you want to be doing that, but obviously they've been caught out probably by the conditions not being so easy, and there we can see Coyd immediately getting past Lol. The intermediates seem to be working, and now we'll have to see McLaren are going to double stack. You've got to double stack. Kure, 10 seconds of speeding in the pit lane. He's retired, so I guess he just kind of gave up, and then that's why that happened. But yeah, let's see then. I think Evans has opened up the gap now to allow McLaren to perform the double stack. And well, Harris should be in. Everyone out there should be in. Coyd seems to have made a good choice. He's now got past Amiri, but there we go. Mills plays it safe on the pit entry. Evans opening the gap to over 4 seconds. And there we can see the intermediates going on. And then Evans just has to wait a little bit. And then They seem to take intermediates off and then put intermediates on. There's a weird graphic thing, I think, with the game, but anyway, Evans back out there. It definitely, yeah, look, they've got the mediums that they take off become intermediates for whatever reason. But now Harris is in the pits as well. Just tiptoe your way out of the pits. Don't want to cross any of the lines and break any of the rules. And Harris now on his way. Where can Coyd get? I don't think he's going to be close enough to the cars ahead, but he's up now into 6th place in the race. A good job there. Parker getting ahead of Amiri. And he'll now chase after Tans. Amiri still on the hard compound, and Lol will just be coming in now. And well, that seems to be everyone then that was on the intermediate, and that was on the slick tyres, now on the intermediate tyres. So Mills, 5.9 second lead, but it was kind of around a second, and then Evans obviously dropped back to get the double stack, and then the double stack cost a little bit of time as well. But Harris onto the podium as it stands. That would be a good result considering where he started, gaining 13 places in the race so far. And well, who's to say that there won't be more chaos happening, as we might go back to slick tyres potentially. I mean, it's still saying raining 15, but then 30 minutes overcast, so I'm not quite sure. But anyway, let's see what else we can have a little look. I mean, you can see the pit stops, but that's not too interesting. But you can also see that everyone, mainly those who pitted for slicks and then pitted for inters, have lost out. But I mean, that's kind of obvious when you take another 20 seconds or so and add it on. Parker getting ahead of Tans, and he is now into 7th, trying to recover. Started on the front row, of course. And will now is running in 7th place. He'll be chasing after Coyd in the Alpine. The rain has kind of split everyone up. There's not really trains going on, which I'm not sure what to think about. I mean, there's less chaos for me to deal with, but also we like to see some action. That is for sure. Those watching, I'm sure, want to see some action. But there, I mean, you wouldn't have thought that that was going to be the case when Harris started down in 16th and Danny started from 6th, but with the way the pit stop turned out and also the chaos, yeah, the two Ferraris separated by 26 seconds. Now on track. So, lap 16 of 31. Let's just have a little look, maybe see what the lap times are looking like between the top 3 when they next finish their next lap. Miri with the 3 seconds. And will Ghosts 1 warning away from another 3-second time penalty. No warnings for the top 2. Harris with 1. Ghosts then with 5, of course, as I just said. Dylan with 0. Coyd with 1. Parker with 0. And then Tans with 1. And then rounding out the top 10 with 3 warnings. And a 3-second time penalty for Svart and Steverex. Anyway, now these two have finished their laps. Let's just have a little look. And well, pretty evenly matched on pace, it is fair to say. And we'll see what Harris has done as well. Harris lost half a second to Evans. I mean, if the game was completely realistic, then McLaren would be completely rapid in the wet. Because in real life, when it rains, I mean they're dominant anyway, but when it rains, they are completely dominant, it seems. But anyway, it's not as in-depth as that game, but obviously McLaren still has a pace advantage. But now we'll see, because if it dries out, then we might get some interest, but now everything's broken up. And now we're just in a real-life Grand Prix, you know, there's nothing going on. We've got to just find some random thing to start talking about. I could do an eagle and say, what's your favourite meal deal or something? I don't know. Parker might give us some interest though. He's gaining on Coyd. I guess, what are you so busy up to that you're not here? Parker looks like he will be getting a move pretty soon. He's been gaining quite a lot on the Alpine of Coyd. Coyd obviously getting into that position really well. But now it's Eagles here.
Yeah,
Hello.
I thought you could do with some company. The race looked a bit quiet.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the gaps.
I know. I've been watching with Rio. I went for my dinner and came back and then saw that he was P5 and then saw Danny had a contact with Ben.
Yeah. Wait, hang on. I need to make sure that they can actually hear what you're saying. I think they can, because this has happened before. Yeah, this is...
Ruden Parker making a little bit of a lot of gains. Got past Toontan's quite quickly, and has caught up to Jarvis Coyd, who's had
he had a kind of mistake earlier. It dropped him a few places, and then he also got caught up.
Yeah, almost going for a move just before the corner. I think he's going to make it. Jarvis Coyd not really fighting it too much, kind of letting him pass pretty much, understanding that the Red Bull is quicker than his little Alpine, and that was a good little move there. Before, he didn't even need like. Yeah, Jarvis.
I think Coyd just backed out. He's in a good position anyway. It's an Alpine. He just wants to keep it clean.
Yeah, I mean the gaps are huge. It's not.
I mean, and also it's not like he doesn't want to be like feeling like he's being followed and under pressure, because you know.
He'll kill him.
Yeah, he just Yeah, I think I need to make you louder. Well, that's what
yeah, I'm quite
saying.
quiet, aren't I?
Well, on the OBS, you seem to be about the same level as me, but I'll make you a few decibels higher.
I have to max myself out on OBS because one, Rio, and two, like, I'm just quiet.
Yeah, I have to make myself like just. I don't think I have mine as a minus either. It's just nothing. Anyway, Dylan, I think. Ghosts. But Ghosts has had quite a good race. I mean, he was on pace. Yeah, the last two races really.
Yeah.
And also Monza as well. He got unlucky, really unlucky. With the puncture.
I mean, that's the thing with
yellow flag.
Yellow or that's nothing.
He gets cleared. Amiri, I want to say, or lol, something down there, but.
It's something between the Haas and Lowell, I believe. It kind of looked like it was that area. I have to say about Senor Ghost though, like I feel like he always has like he has random good results, but then he just has like stinky like P4s. Yeah, nice one. That works quite well.
Yeah, look, see, it does work.
Dylan's going for a move.
As Dylan goes around the outside, just sails past Ghosts. And wait, if that's in the highlights when I eventually do it, it's just going to say red flag in the middle of the... No, you can also do screenshot as well. Exclamation mark screenshot, I think.
That comes up in the...
It'll come up in the stream updates.
Stream updates. Does everyone see that?
Pretty sure. I've already done a couple already from like each session. Anyway, Miguel... He's running around with damage here, but kind of in no man's land, as are a lot of the drivers.
Ran on wet tyres for quali. He's running around with damage this one. He has not had a normal race. It is going to be drying up soon, though, which can bring everyone back into it.
Here we go, 10 minutes, overcast. But obviously, I think it just kind of goes off the percentage, like the probability of rain. It's 46. That means it's overcast, but then, I mean, it'll probably take a little while to dry out. We might see someone going for it in the last few laps, maybe.
If it ends up happening, like if it dries out as quickly as it got wet, then we'd see it in one lap, because that was crazy. Yeah. How I was watching it and I told Harris, I was like, "Oh, don't come in this lap. It's just started." And then suddenly I'm seeing Alex struggle around turn one. I'm like, "Oh God, hit this lap," and it was too late.
Yeah, because when I was doing another race in another unnamed league, the same thing happened. It just... the same thing happened. It rained, and like the same lap it started raining, inters were quicker. Crazy.
There's something around this track. Danny has slowly been catching the Sauber of Tootans or Toontans or whatever.
Yeah, Toontans.
I believe these two are friends, so you'd kind of think that the Sauber would let the Ferrari pass, or he'd fight him worse, who knows. But Danny having a bit of a difficult race so far after that tangle with Ben, who is also having a bit of a difficult race down in P11. Yeah, there's an unfortunate incident between the two. Pretty early on as well. I think it was like lap 9.
Unfortunate incident. There's more than one.
I only saw one, to be honest. I literally got back and it was happening.
Yeah, there was prior.
He said that Danny told me that. Oh, Danny! Oh my God! I thought he was round.
Not again.
Close to spin it, but I was told that the Mercedes was like battering him, and it was like all against him. But I didn't see any clips. So
I mean, I'm not even sure. I was just saying what was happening. Too much was going on. Danny's seems to be having a lot of wheel spin, but.
And up front as well, Harris is now 16 seconds behind.
Yeah, the McLarens are just they've
been slowly creeping ahead. I think it is going to be a McLaren 1-2 unless they severely screw up the strategy from here on with the dries coming out. This looks like Danny's best opportunity to make an overtake. Maybe into turn 1, goes to the inside, easy move. And he has got a little bit of
slight bit of contact, yeah.
Easy move. Oh, there's a bit of contact.
Yeah.
Yep, and he moves his way up into P8, but he does have a 3-second, but we'll see at the end of the race what happens with that. We'll have a free How do you get it where it doesn't show the number?
What do you mean? It's a separate thing. Who's here?
James.
Hello.
Hello.
My working, so I've come to watch the race.
You're not going to say anything then?
No, I'll sit here eating my my sweets.
Really? You're going to mute yourself then?
This guy could just watch the stream. He's decided to join. Oh, it's the admin.
No, he wants he wants the least
My
latency.
Twitch isn't working.
Rio is 21 seconds behind now. That's of Alex. Okay, I didn't realise that you changed it. My bad. Never mind. I thought you made a mistake.
You can see Miguez has been lapped. He's obviously AI. Fusion as well. Just been AI
I heard that
the whole race.
Quit too quickly. It's what
I'm not sure. He was in the middle of a lap in quali, and then he just like conked out, kind of.
He kept saying it wasn't his internet, but I think it was. The racing rules,
you know bad internet when you see it.
I do. I'm a very keen eye for bad internet, as Bramble Vegas in 3 seconds. But Steverex now on Tientans. What a name. Why have you got this, bro? I'm pretty sure it's Toincoin, isn't it? But he changed his name to Tientans. Steverex right behind.
Because on the spreadsheet you had him on there twice. One is Toincoin and one is Toontans.
I thought it was two people.
Yeah, because then he put a message in the chat saying my value's 0, but actually Toontans' value on the right hand side was more, but then in the table it was down as Toin.
He is not making it easy for Steverex to get past. They are almost side by side. It's front wheel to rear wheel.
He's gonna try and sneak it still. Oof.
He ain't Rio, bro.
And the contact in the. Did Ben make contact?
There's Ben behind him. Maybe Ben kind of whacked into the back of him or something.
Let's have a quick little look before they go on the next straight.
See as they came into this corner, he tried to move around the outside, just avoided that wall. Maybe had a little hit from behind.
Ben had to react there. I think he's going up the inside. No, he pulls out.
Yeah, I thought that way. It looked like he just sent it, but no, Ben very patiently sitting behind, just waiting.
Oh, but then he goes for it up the inside. Oh, and then there's more contact with Ben. Oh, and Steverex sent off track as well.
Yeah, that was not a clean move at all. In
You
the
just say he's
slightest
being
from Ben.
patient, and then that happens.
He heard what we were saying and just decided, am I being patient? Nah, and just sent it on him. That was a bit dirty, and I'm sure we're going to see another dirty move to get past the Sauber here.
He's playing golf. All of that noise is on the screen.
As still, Ben now has not made a move. A little tap there on the Sauber. I'm not even surprised.
Stenrex is still like kind of
Day.
keeping in check with this as well.
Yeah. Stefarek's just waiting. I think he wants to get past the Sauber, so he's kind of hoping that Ben can get past the
Yeah,
Sauber.
I mean,
By the way,
he's kind of hoping.
Me is so bad.
Yeah, I think it's your internet. Oh, Ben going around the outside. And he gets a bit of a barge, and then there's more contact. And then Stefarex does sneak through on the Sauber.
That's pretty much what I said that he wanted to happen, was Ben goes for a move on the Sauber, and then the Sauber loses out. But was that a bit dirty from Ben? As we see, this move was the one on Stefarex, just hits him completely. And I think that was a bit dirty if it gets reported. And I'm sure
it goes a bit wide almost there, I think.
Were you going to show the clip of what just happened? Or
no, I can only have one at a time. I thought that one was better.
That one was more dirty.
Yeah.
Ben now
Not good
gaining
enough.
Cheers. Yeah, Ben.
But look, at this one game hasn't
bit
crashed
away.
3 times yet.
Yeah, that's funny, isn't it?
What's happened between
Good boy.
Alex and Bryn?
Is the gap closing? Oh, yeah.
It's closing by a
Bryn
lot.
just seems to be quicker. I reckon, though, these two are speaking to each other.
They probably
because they are good friends. And
well, because they
good
also, like,
teammates.
when it was time to go into Inters, Bryn dropped back to, like, do the double stacks.
Yeah,
They must
yeah.
have, like,
I reckon
here we
Bryn
go.
will not make a move on.
Is this time for
on Alex.
dries?
First one we're going to be seeing.
I mean, it is kind of dried out now, kind of. There's no more rain, I don't think. Well, we'll have to watch the sector times. Medium tyres go on. Miguel as well doing the same.
So, he is the dummy. He is who we are going to be watching. Danny now has caught back up to the bottom, the bottom, nice. The back of Jarvis Coyd. He is a couple laps behind how Bramble was. Bramble was quite.
Let's see if they come in.
Catching them. And no,
Stays out.
he's baited us. We might see Brennan maybe? No. No. Neither of them come in.
I might get a gap up between Alex and
Rio.
Tans, I think.
Oh, okay. Right, we're seeing how quickly those.
I mean, he seems to be sliding a lot there.
Work.
Amiri 10 seconds for crossing pit lane
We are
exit.
seeing a lot of people come into the pits now, so
He's struggling, I think. He's tiptoeing.
83, 84. It's
going
maybe
up.
too early, but
It's dropped
give it a
by
couple
multiple
laps.
seconds already. Like, I mean, it has gone up by multiple seconds. He's having to
I don't
tiptoe.
think it.
You know, those shiny slicks are just not quite up to the temperature, and it's not working, is it?
I don't think the top three will.
Oh, and then he hits the wall.
Yeah, no, nothing there. So it is not time for slicks. And considering there are only about 6 laps left in it, I don't think we will see anyone pit unless it really dries out.
I mean,
There
if
is
it
no
dries
risk.
out, then the McLarens might, because they've got a gap, but then they don't want to. They might give it to their. They don't
But
want to.
what happens?
lose a team
What happens
battle.
if they get it wrong? That's the thing for McLaren, is that they are in a bit of a situation where if they get it wrong, then Rio wins the race and gains in the championship lead.
Danny going up
As,
the inside,
Danny,
locks
what a
up.
move. Oh! Wow, fair enough. What a move. Gets past Jarvis Coyd and moves up into P7. That was a lunge and a half, and we're going to be seeing the move here, which was Tans, bro. And yeah, just goes into a corner, handful of nothing, and honestly, definitely got damage from that. And showing it is not slick tyres. We can't even use them to compare anymore, really. So do you want to compare with Amiri?
Yeah. Let me just. What did Amiri do in the middle sector? 47. He's 3 seconds off in one sector.
Slower? Yeah, fair.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, with the limited amount of laps left as well, if there comes a point where it's pointless to pit.
I can't see Alex
You're not going
Sarah.
to. Nice,
Evans.
thanks, Alex.
I mean, obviously there comes a point when the inters will overheat, but you can probably just about manage it. Yellow flag.
Yeah, there's a yellow
There
flag.
is the Sauber.
Sauber of Tan spinning there on the medium tyres is just not. Shut up. Danny, another 3-second here. He's picking up a
It's on
couple of
9.
threes. That's his third one now. So
He's going to drop behind Coyd and Ben.
Yeah, no, Benny might be okay. It's close.
He might get the gap to Ben just about by the end of the race. It depends if Ben gets to on Coyd, and then I don't know.
Yeah, Rio as well.
Anyway, we've got the back marker here, Fusion, and then Bryn is closing in.
Yeah, he won't make a move. If he does make a move, he won't. He will give it back. These two, yeah, they understand that the drivers' championship is on for Alex Mills, and I reckon, there is no way on earth he doesn't let him win this race. A good recovery drive from Rio, though.
I can't believe that after all this time of using this graphic, there's not been one time that someone's actually changed position in the championship.
Just pointless, isn't it?
We can see the points, I guess.
Yeah. I'd like to know the constructors, but I think in this scenario, McLaren will be gaining so much. But I think the rivals really to Ferrari are the likes of Red Bull and Mercedes more than McLaren, and because of the start
McLaren
of the
are kind of
season.
a bit further back. Yeah,
because of the start of the season. So I think McLaren will gain quite a lot of points, but I think it is enough for Ferrari to keep a sizable gap.
yeah. I mean, just looking at these slick, you can see it's just wobbling everywhere, like having to correct.
It's still sort of raining, I feel. I still feel
Tan's
like
out now on the softs. Ben now is going for it.
A little guinea pig.
Here we go. This might be a quicker guinea pig in a quick car to check.
He's got the 10-second though, so he's...
Yeah, he's going to definitely lose those places.
Yeah, he has got the gap to Lol, actually.
He takes an age. I don't know if he has got the gap to Lol. That gap's just because he's in the pits. It doesn't really work.
Oh, sorry, I see.
Yeah. He'll be fine there to the next car.
Yeah, Fusion, who's not even here.
He's almost a lap down. If you look where the McLaren's are, obviously he's made another stop.
Wow, this race wasn't as chaotic as the Baku race.
It was for like the first 13 laps or however.
Yeah. The Div 2 one was felt like carnage every lap, to be honest. Well, every lap I was in, which was like all but like
3
5.
seconds. But
that literally means nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yellow.
Yellow flag. That's a Haas, is it?
Amiri.
I don't even know. He's on the he is on the medium, so maybe just letting people kind of go past.
And I think he might have made a mistake or something, because you wouldn't just let people past.
Yeah, he was doing really well until he pit. I think that was a bit of a fumble, to be honest. I don't know why he's pit. Another bad race for Haas.
Anyway, how's Ben getting on?
90 seconds. Okay, he's gained a little bit.
It's gone green. He's gained something. DRS enabled.
I really wish that these two... Oh, yes. Finally.
And just as we're going to the DRS zone.
I wish that these two were actually like championship rivals and fighting each other, because this would
two McLarens take each other out. And Rio Harris.
I mean, if that happens, that could be cinema.
Not going to happen, is it?
But there is no way that they take each other
Unless someone locks up by mistake or something. Anyway, it's time for slicks now, so are they going to pit?
Yeah, well, they may have the gap, but do they want to? I don't think they will. Yeah, there's no risk in doing it. There's no point. I don't think Rio will either.
There is a risk to it.
Sorry, I meant, yeah, there's no need to risk it, is more what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rio should continue as well. I don't think anyone will pit with 3 laps
I guess we just
left.
have to see, does Ben catch up to the Williams
To
ahead,
rest. Yeah,
because there's not.
Andre.
I mean, it's got a big gap to catch in about 3 laps, but
Yeah, maybe a bit too much. I don't know if you can gain like that much. Oh my
whoa,
god,
what was that? What was
where's
that?
he trying?
He just got
Could be
himself a
serious,
3
actually.
seconds for that. Whoa, what?
Oh,
Oh my
my
word. They're just messing
On the
about
slick
now.
tyres, there is no way
Yeah.
that you can do that. Little safety car would have been quite nice about now, but there will not be one with
Yeah, even
3 laps
Danny's
left.
coming up to lap them now, I think.
Danny in P7 is lapping. What's the gap between Danny and Jarvis?
3.3.
Oh, he's got 9 seconds in he, so
Yeah.
yep. Danny coming to lap these two, who are just clearly just drowning their sorrows by just having a little scrap. The Haas down the inside. Now they're going to go, so it ruins the fight. Danny, hurry up and get past them.
Oh,
So they can just...
they still bang into each other.
A little bit of
Danny
contact
just
there
goes
as well.
through. They're still making
Oh,
contact. There is only ghosted to
and Amiri
Danny.
gets past.
And now he's going to send it. Parker. Parker's out of the race.
That's a crash, is it?
Yeah,
It is. We're coming up to it now.
down here.
We'll
over
see
the
what
Anderson
happened here.
Bridge. Is he locked up into turn 13? Whoa, what was
My
that?
God. Danny having a little...
Too late though.
little, like, jolt. But Bramble there, retiring from P6. Not a good day for Red Bull.
Yeah, it's too
That's
late.
a DNF and a DSQ. To check out this Amiri incident. What happened here? McGo just slams on the way on Amiri. These two are friends, so it's fun.
Anyway, Red Bull, that's going to be costly. I mean, they weren't picking up too many points anyway, but any points matter.
Yeah, and that's now going to be considered a DNF and a DSQ, as these two are just playing bumper cars at this point.
I wonder if somebody actually reports them. And then,
How dare they mess about?
this is serious
If
If
competition.
they do that, I'll be
James.
taking legal fee. If
Oh,
someone
Amiri!
reports that, there will be a legal report.
The thing is, though, I don't get it, because Amiri just slammed into the side of him, but neither of them spun.
They're just having fun.
Yeah, it's good.
They're
good
not
to
scoring
see.
any points, so they're just going, yeah, let's kill each other and try to survive.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably going to get P13, 14, so...
Exactly, they're not going to get
Actually,
points.
P12, 13, because Fusion will get DSQ'd.
Yeah.
But we head now onto the final lap. Alex Mills, followed by Bryn Evans. I see
Another
Bryn tomorrow.
yellow. And I think it's those two again.
I think they crashed.
Yeah.
Eagle's going to be racing with Bryn tomorrow.
I don't race against him anymore. He's a bit too sweaty.
With him.
Yeah, he's in my team.
I know.
Really?
Is Bryn going to look
Wait.
for a move? He's not. Is
Bryn,
he?
please send it on him.
Last
Send it
lap
on
of the
him.
race.
Bryn, he's getting closer.
No.
Oh no, he's backed out. Who would have seen
Oh,
that
then
one
he's hit the
coming?
curb.
Yes, he's just swatted
He
over the
spat himself
curb.
out wide.
It would be
Can
carnage if we
Ghosts
saw a
get
little
up to
McLaren
Dylan? He
DNF.
does have 3 more seconds of time penalties, though, to be fair, so I don't think he's going to get
Already
the place
applied.
anyway.
Yeah, Danny needs to gain just about, like 4
4
seconds on
seconds, yeah.
Jarvis Coyd, yeah. So there's a lot of people who will lose position. I think Danny goes down to P7, but that'll be it. I think everyone else stays where they are pretty much.
Well, I think, yeah, because Stevrex, yeah, he's got 6 seconds, so... Ben
That's fair. But
is catching, but it's not enough, I don't think. The slicks just didn't quite get in the window. Amiri has another time penalty. Alex Mills in this race. He's taken pole position. It's been a McLaren domination. Papaya once again going to get to the top of the rostrum. Alex Mills rounds the final corner. The fireworks will go off and he'll win the Singapore Grand Prix to keep his championship charge on. Bryn Evans comes home to take 2nd place. McLaren 1-2. Rio Harris coming back from being knocked out in Q1 to take the final spot on the podium, and he will have certainly taken that when the race started. And well, Dylan and Ghosts are going to be close to the line, but Dylan is going to be ahead and he's got less time penalties anyway. So Dylan will take 4th, Ghosts in 5th,
Yay!
and Danny will come home to take 6th place as something's happened to Tans, I think, on the final lap. Actually, they've been lapped, so they should have finished. Should they? I think they should have finished the race. But Zvart in 6th, Koi taking 7th. Everyone's so spaced out. Danny drops down then, of course, with his penalty. Stevrix in 8th. Tarantino, what is going on here with all the lap cars? As a load of cars going to cross the line. Tarantino across the line, he takes 9th. And then all those cars jumble around across the line. Ben in 10th. What on earth happened? There's just cars everywhere there, but anyway, Ben in 10th, and then Lol will take 11th place to round out the order. And Alex Mills wins the Singapore Grand Prix.
I think, is that the first 1-2 since Hungary with the racing balls, or did they get 1-3?
No,
They got
it
1-3.
wasn't. Yeah, it was. Was
Who
it
got
Japan?
1-3?
There must.
Was it Japan then?
No, it was
No way it's not
Canada.
been a 1-2
Canada was
since.
it? Oh no, did
No way
Danny
did Red
take
Bull get
P2?
1-2.
Did Danny take P2 in Canada or my? I think.
Arse.
No, yeah, Bren missed out by like less than a 10th, I think, on 2nd in Canada, I want to say. Oh, trying to
Wow.
think. Anyway, there we go. Check the race director. Or
Rio just joined straight away anyway, bro.
That's rude.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to have interviews.
or I
Rio,
could do
can
an
you
eagle
just-
and say
1
I'm
minute.
not bothered. I can't.
Rio, 1 minute.